Hi everyone, my name is Angela from Angela Stitches and welcome back to my channel. So in this video I'm continuing my Brooks Books Mistletoe, and since my last update video I've worked on her white gloves and also finished her skin, like the shading on her arms and chest. And then I also worked on the small two designs on the Mystery Sal by Linen and Threads. So these two are now done, and all I need to do is the bigger motif, which I think it'll end about right here. So I'm gonna start on that tomorrow, but I think I'll work on Mistletoe a little bit more tonight. I'm gonna try to get the shading done on her arms, or her gloves actually, and if I can, I'll start on her dress. And if I finish the gloves, I feel like it's just going to be a couple of colors of pinks, except for this green bouquet on the bottom. So yeah, I'll check in again later tonight. So it's actually the next day, and so last night I finished her gloves, the shading and all of it, and I'm always so amazed on the shading of Brooks Books designs. It's so subtle and it's just the right amount, and it looks perfect. So I'm super happy how this looks. And then I started on the dress, and I got a good chunk done. So I'm gonna continue with this color later. But this morning I started the bigger motif on my Mystery Sal. So this is how much I got done, and I found the picture here, and I just finished like the top part of the motif. So I think I'll work on this layer by layer. Maybe I'll finish this in 2 or 3 days, I think. So that's not too bad. So this is coming along very nicely, and I'm not stitching the alphabets, and compared to the other areas in this design, this seems to have more negative space without the alphabets. So it looks a little empty. So I don't know, later when I finish this project and if it looks a little empty in some places, maybe I'll go back and stitch like a really tiny motif in between instead of the letters. But yeah, so I'm gonna come back to this tomorrow and try to get the bigger motif done. And later tonight I'll work on this, and I'm just gonna work on finishing this one color in this whole dress. And I think that'll speed up the process because I don't need to keep changing colors. And I also experimented with dyeing floss with avocado skin. So I'll put a picture here or the videos here that I filmed while I was doing that. And I'll show you the end result later when it's all dried. So this is the one that I did yesterday, and I did another batch, and I left this one overnight. So this is what it looks like, and it's still wet, so it appears to be darker, but yeah, I'm gonna leave this out to dry and compare the colors later. So I wasn't supposed to boil the water, so I tried it again, and it seems like the color on this is more pink and darker, but once it dries I think it'll be a little lighter, so yeah, I don't know yet. So I'm gonna check in again later to show you the final result. But this is super fun, so I want to try it again on fabric next time. So this is all dried now, and it's really hard to tell, but this is a little lighter. So this is the one that I did yesterday, and I guess I wasn't supposed to boil the water because that turns the water brown rather than pink. So I tried it again and left this one overnight. And when it was wet, it was a lot darker, but now it is still a little darker, but not as dark, but there is a color difference, which I'm sure it's really hard to tell through my camera here. So yeah, that was a really fun experiment, and I want to try more things with natural dyes, which there's a lot of information online. So I'll leave a couple of videos and articles about it in the description box below. So I'm gonna use this for a project. I don't know what yet, but I definitely want to use it. And I got a question about how I start a perforated paper project, or I think the exact question was how I find the center to start a perforated paper project. And usually and this goes with any project for me, I don't start at the center of the project anymore. I usually start at the corner or from the top. If it's like a full coverage project, I'll start from the corner, especially if it's like a full square coverage piece like this one. But if it's not, I'll start from the top most of the time. Sorry, this is a little dusty with cat hair, but I would start from the corner in a project like this. And I do this because I don't like to count. For some reason, I always miscount, so if I start from the top or from the corner of the project, I have less room to misplace my project on the paper. And I'll just leave a little bit of room on whichever side I'm working on or starting on for margin and then just start. But in a project like this where the top only has a little bit of stitches and it goes wider as it goes down, I make sure I start from the center of that paper or fabric, whatever I'm stitching on. And to do that, I have to count, or if you have the stitch count of the fabric, um, or I mean the project, you can go on to 1, 2, 3 stitch and put the numbers through the fabric calculator and just measure it, how wide it's going to be, and divide that into half and start from the middle. So you can always do that without counting, but by measuring. But I feel like it is usually correct, but it does rounds up the numbers, so sometimes it tells you that you need more fabric than you actually do. So there were times when I had a lot more margin left than I entered in the form to calculate it, if that makes sense. So personally, I like to count if I have to instead of measuring it. So I hope that kind of helps you, and one of the reasons why I don't start from the center is because if I start from the center, so for me, I like to know where the design ends. I like to reach the end of the designs on all sides as soon as possible. So if I could, or if I find it more efficient, I'll work on outlining the project and then work my way in. So if I start from the center, I have more stitches to work on until I get to either side, up and down, or side to side, whatever. So really, it's just preference, I think. Um, I know a couple of years ago I liked to start from the middle and work my way out, but nowadays I like to start from one edge and then work my way to the other side of the edge or other side of the design, if that makes sense. But if you want to start from the center, you can count the stitches and find the middle, or usually the chart gives you the marker to find your center, or yeah, you can just measure it based on the stitch count that they give you and find the center that way. So yeah, I don't know if this was any useful to you, but yeah, that's how I start my projects most of the time. And if you have any questions about perforated paper or cross stitching, I'll try to answer them best as I can. And I don't think I was that clear on explaining how I start. So if it wasn't clear, let me know. I'll try to explain it a little better in my next video with a new project. And I'll just show you how I start step by step. I think that'll be much more clear to explain it, how I start a new project. But yeah, so I worked on this section here, so I'm just gonna continue with this one color and try to finish this one color in this whole dress. So before I start working on Mistletoe, I think I want to work on FFOing my new design. So this is the new project that I was working on last week, and I think this turned out really cute. And this has beads in it as well for the stars, and I've never charted anything before with beads in it, so that was really fun to do. And then this is a 32 count fabric called Arctic, and I got this from 123 Stitch, and I think it's still available there. And so yeah, I'm gonna work on turning this into an ornament tonight, and I'm just gonna do a simple FFO. And what else? Oh, so these pumpkins look like this because when I was young, I thought pumpkins grew on trees. So I thought that was a fun little idea to do for this chart. So that's why the pumpkins are standing like that. And I think it looks really funny. So this chart is going to be available by this weekend, and I think I'm gonna call it Pumpkin Cat. So today I worked on just a little bit on the Mystery Sal, so this is how much I got done. I actually wanted to finish the rest of this motif in this layer, but I didn't get to that, so I'll work on it again tomorrow, but I got a lot done on my mistletoe. So I got this dark pink color finished, and this is like where the chart ends. So this is how tall the ornament is going to be at the end. And tomorrow I'm going to start on a different pink color, starting from up here, I think, and try to get that color done. So I think this is going really well. It's a real fast stitch too, I feel like, especially because I'm working on it by color. And then this morning I finished turning this into an ornament. And when I went to the studio, I took some pictures before I added in the bow. And I'll insert those pictures here. And for the pictures, I didn't stitch in the bow because the chart was being covered, like the design of it. So I added in the hanger, or I mean the ribbon or the bow, after I took the pictures when I got home a little while ago. So this is now finished, and instead of using a different material for the hanger, I just made the hanger out of the same material I used for the backing. So the back looks like this. And it's the same material that I used for the bow, and underneath you can see the moon. So yeah, I've never done a hanger like this before, so that was really fun. So yeah, this is a finished ornament now. So this is also in my Etsy shop now as a downloadable PDF chart along with my fall is coming chart. So yeah, I'll have the links in the description box below for these charts if you're interested. And yeah, thank you to everyone who visited my shop. I really appreciate it. And I'm still checking with the post office almost every day, but still there isn't any changes yet, except for that EMS option. But everyone who upgraded to EMS got their shipment safely and fairly quick, so I was super happy about that. So if you want to upgrade it to EMS, just let me know. And if you have friends in the same area, I can combine your orders together. So that's an option as well. So yeah, I just wanted to say thank you for supporting me. It really does help a lot. So I'm very grateful. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to say thank you. So I don't think I'll stitch anymore tonight, but I'll come back again tomorrow to check in. So last night I started on the next pink color on the mistletoe, so like this lighter color. I don't know if you could see that. But after that, I think there might be maybe two other pink colors. So it's not a lot of confetti, it's just a lot of chunks of stitches. So I think I could finish this in the next few days. So I'm gonna work on this later again, but I think I want to finish my mystery cell first because I only have this much left now. I was trying to finish it last night, but it was getting late, so I stopped here. But all I have to do now is this other half of this last layer. So I'm gonna do that first today and try to get this done. So I'll come back when I get that finished. I think it'll take maybe half an hour to 40 minutes. So I just finished the part 9 of the mystery cell, and this section seems to have more negative space than the other areas of the cell. And I think I talked about this a little bit in my other clips maybe, but maybe because this section had 3 places where the letters were supposed to be, because like over on this section seems to be a lot bigger space, and I didn't felt like that was a big empty space when I skipped those letters. So I don't know, if it still bothers me, I'll design something really tiny and add it in between the motifs. But yeah, for now this is finished, and this will come back out again in October when part 10 comes out. And we only have October, November, and December left, and I can't believe 2020 is almost over too. It was such a weird year, but somehow we almost at the end already. I hope 2021 is going to be better, but yeah. I'm already thinking about the next Sal. If I do the 2021 mystery Sal, I think I want to do it on a 40 count, so that the finished piece is much smaller, but we'll see. So now that I got this done, I'm gonna work only on this until I finish it. I'm gonna try to get the next pink color finished on this. And there are 2 more DMCs that I don't have in my stash. So I'm gonna have to skip those 2 and come back later when I get all of the 3 angels done. But it's like the 2 olive green colors, so if I can, I'm gonna try to see if I can replace it with other colors. But yeah, I'll come back later to show you my progress. So after dinner, I worked on the second color of this dress and I finished this color and I almost ran out. I was getting a little anxious, but I made it. So now I'm gonna go right ahead and start on the third color. And after that, I think I only have like the lightest pink color and the dress will be finished. And after the dress, I need to do this green bouquet on the bottom. So yeah, and I got a question about how many strands I use to stitch on perforated paper. So I used 3, but I know some people use 2, but I feel like 2 is not enough to have full coverage effect. 2 is still good. It doesn't look sparse or anything, but I personally just like to use 3 strands. I just like that look. So I use 3 strands, but the downside of that is that you run out of DMC very quickly. But it's not like DMC is super expensive or anything like that, like the hand dyes, for example. But it is priced up a lot than before. I think I remember buying a skein of DMC for 400 to 451, which is like less than 40 cents, I think. But I'm sure some of you remember it being way less. But anyways, so yeah, I use 3 strands for that reason, for coverage. But when I stitch with Krennic, I just use 1 strand, and I think that's enough. And I like the number 8s. Number 4s are too thick, I feel like, not for the paper, but to work with. I find it hard to like, I don't know, it tangles a lot for me. I don't know how others feel about it, but I don't know. I like to stitch with number 8s and use 1 strand. So yeah, that's how I stitch on perforated paper. So it's only been an hour and I worked on this lighter pink color and that's all I did. And I think I'm going to end the video here, and for my next video I'm going to try to finish all of the stitching that I can do on Mistletoe and then start on my next project, which is my Spirit of Mrs. Claus. So I have everything in here and let me just show you how much I have on this. So Mrs. Claus is on brown paper and I have this piece of white, and I think this is for the smaller items here. And also for this dog, I think this is a dog. So yeah, I need the white for that. And so yeah, I'm gonna try to get going on this week as well. And I'm trying to have everything on the screen here, but it's not easy. So I think that's good. So yeah, I hope you aren't bored with the perforated paper projects. If there's any other project that you would like to see in my videos, leave a comment and I can pull those out and work on it also. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions and I'll reply back to you or talk about it in my next video. And yeah, I guess that's it. So thank you so much for watching, and oh, I have the chart for this in my Etsy shop now, so I would appreciate it if you give me a visit. It really helps me a lot. So thank you so much again for spending time with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!